Now we'll turn our attention to a rather heartbreaking story that has highlighted problems that exist with drug labeling. The death of a 16-year-old boy in an emergency room by accidental epinephrine overdose caused a stir in the medical community. After studying this and other cases, ISMP determined there are many issues with labeling epinephrine that require immediate attention, beginning with the confusing nature of dose concentrations that used ratio expressions, such as 1 to 1,000 and 1 to 10,000. Recently, the United States Pharmacopoeia eliminated these ratio expressions on certain epinephrine injection labels. And as of May 1st, ratio expressions will no longer be allowed on labeling of single-entity drug substances. Joining me now is Mike Cohen, the president of ISMP, and a man well known for his work in patient safety and his dedication to understanding the causes of medication errors in the healthcare community. Mike practiced as a hospital pharmacist for more than 25 years before founding ISMP. Mike, welcome.
Thanks, Amy. Great to be here.
All right, Mike. ISMP petitions United States Pharmacopoeia to eliminate ratio expressions on drug labels, and it seems like they've heard you loud and clear. Why was that done?
Well, we've had some very serious errors. The ratio expression is a way to indicate the concentration of a drug, and unfortunately a lot of people aren't familiar with it. It's been around for a long time. As a matter of fact, it's an old-fashioned way to express the concentration of a drug. And it really requires, in dosing a patient, you need to do two things. You need to know what that concentration means, and you also need to know the volume. And mostly for most of the medications that we use the metric system, and doses are measured in milligram, and that's what's on the label. And people don't get confused by that pretty much, so it's a real problem.
Okay. How do errors happen with ratio expressions, and what happens to patients if a mix-up does occur?
Well, we've had some very, very serious incidents. As a matter of fact, what got us started with this petition to the USP to get the labeling changed to eliminate the ratio expression, we had a 16-year-old child that we learned about that came into an emergency room with priapism and unfortunately received a massive overdose of the drug epinephrine that's used for that particular condition because someone did confuse the ratio expression. Errors happen because people aren't familiar with it. They just don't know what it means. There's actually studies that show that doctors don't know what it means, nurses don't know what it means. And unfortunately, in making calculations to convert to the metric system, milligram dosing, for example, mistakes are made. So it is really a problem.
Now that we know the labeling becomes official on May 1st, which is good news, how will products be labeled going forward, and do you expect any issues during the switchover period?
Well, the USP and FDA has to follow what the USP indicates in the United States Pharmacopoeia itself. Will change the labeling of all the products so that it only expresses the strength in milligram, and the dosing will be in milligram or metric system. And the ratio expressions will be totally eliminated for the drugs that still exist that have that labeling.
Okay. Do you anticipate any problems with the switchover?
Well, we're a little bit worried that, people are still used to prescribing using the ratio system, and, it may, now that it won't be on the label anymore, unfortunately, some people might make the mistake in doing calculations and trying to convert from the way it was ordered into the metric system. So we're a little bit worried about that. There are several drugs that are still out there. For example, epinephrine is one that still has labeling with the ratio system. Isoproterenol is another one, and then neostigmine is another one. So you'll still see those on labeling today.
Okay, when will we see, or will we see, complete elimination of ratio expressions across all products?
Right, this is a good question. We actually will see this beginning May 1st. I think some of the companies are already gearing up and they're already designing new graphics, et cetera. It's going to take some time to convert it, and there's still a lot of old inventory that's out there. So during this transition period, I'm afraid we're a little bit worried about it. So that's why it's important for everyone to know about this conversion and to start educating staff and showing the new labeling as it comes in, for example. And doctors have to stop writing in a ratio. And I think most of them already do that, but unfortunately there's some holdouts. We just recently had a 38-year-old that unfortunately suffered a fatal event. He was moving furniture, he twisted his back, he had a back injury, came in for surgery, and unfortunately this type of mix-up did happen. They gave him a 10-fold overdose of the drug, and it was fatal.
Something we will absolutely be following. Mike Cohen, thank you so much, President of ISMP. Thank you so much for the information today.
Thank you.